many years I've been wanting to go to the Transworld Halloween Expo. So this year I finally got to go. And in recent years they added a Christmas Expo too, so I am actually getting to go to both. So a couple days ago I was able to do a speech here at Transworld on projection mapping. I was focused on some low-hanging fruit, easy ways that we could have professional level looking shows, but with beginner skills. And so we did that a couple days ago. I'll probably do that same presentation on the channel too, just so people can see that. And then been enjoying the show. And there's one player on the field in projection mapping. We got Luxedo's booth right here that I've been hanging out in too. So we've got a couple of our shows running. We have this one that's some highlights, kind of a highlight reel of shows we've done. And then we did one on this facade where you have the brick and the siding so that people can see how it looks. It was kind of a unfortunate situation that they were going to get like a 20,000 lumen projector to kind of compensate for all this ambient light. There's actually quite a bit of light here that we're dealing with, but they weren't able to get the 20K lumen one here in time, so they're using a 4200 lumen. This is an Optima 4K. And so even with all the light, it's doing pretty good. Just would have been better with all this light around here if they could have had something a little brighter. But it's still kind of a fun show. We did a series of facades on here so people could see some Christmas stuff and some Halloween stuff on the house. But while I'm in the booth, I thought I'd kind of highlight where they're going as a company, some of the innovations that they're coming out with. You know, this is the unit that most of us are familiar with. I started using this last year. And one of the biggest challenges people had with this projector was the resolution and brightness. And with projectors, you do want the brightest and highest resolution you can get. The cost goes up really quick too, though, with the higher end projectors. And so kind of the way the company's going to pivot is they have this as kind of an entry level one, 3800 lumens. But they've also partnered with Optima so that you can get as big and bright and high a resolution as you want. You can just bring, if you already have the projector, you can bring that, or you can get one of the Optimas with the deal that they have worked out with them. And so I think that's going to be a big game changer, because then no matter how big your house is or your building, you can find something that's going to be big enough and bright enough. And so a couple of the innovations that they have here that make that possible, one is LuxLink, which as soon as it's warm enough outside, I'm going to try LuxLink and do a video review on that. But LuxLink is basically all the software player scheduler that Luxedo has, but you can use your own projector. And so that is available right now on their website. And then they're also coming out with the Luxedo Omni. And the Luxedo Omni is basically everything you need for projection mapping, hardware and software, minus the projector. And then you bring your own projector or buy one of these, and you'd get this waterproof casing too. It's got some glass already in it, so this is already weatherproof. It's got adjustable legs on it. They're talking about maybe having some mounting hardware so you can put it on, get it up high enough for your projection mapping. And so this would have everything you need. Like when we did our first show, there was all these little things I didn't really think about that I ended up needing. There was, I had to have the projector, obviously. I had to build a box, and I did not do a good job of it. You've seen my box on our channel. I had to have something to play the video. I used an old Roku that I had lying around. I had to have the speakers, FM transmitter, Bluetooth, all that stuff. And then the software, I had to actually get a laptop that was beefy enough to be able to run Adobe. And so you can do all that, and that's what we've been running our show on. Our primary show's been doing it that way. But it's nice to see that there's some innovations coming that will help us to not have to piece all that together. That we could just get one package and it'll have it all. And one of the other innovations that I'm pretty excited about, because I've been trying to solve this two projector problem. And maybe solve's the wrong word. It's already been solved. You can do it with a Falcon player, but I've been looking for ways to simplify it. A lot of people that I work with don't want to mess with the technical details of it. They just want to be able to do drag and drop or have us create a show for them. And so like I did a video on having that mini computer with 2 HDMI outputs, and then you just play the video files simultaneously in VLC, and yeah, that worked, but I'm not super excited about it. But Luxedo is trying to solve that problem too. And so what they have here, this display, why I'm staying on this screen so long, this is 2 projectors. And they've both been running for about 4 days now straight, and it's still perfectly synced. You got an Optima projector there, you got another Optima projector there. They're both running off the LuxLink thing that I mentioned. And there's no drift. The show just keeps running. You know, it's other situations you might get the timing right at the beginning, but then over time the gaps get bigger and it drifts. It's kind of like having 2 watches that aren't exactly synchronized, and the times start to get farther and farther apart. But 4 days, and this is all working just fine. So I'm excited to test that out, because so many of the people that I talk to have a house that's too big to get coverage with one projector. So this way you could get your projectors, synchronize them easily, and you'd be able to do it yourself in their software. Or if you buy a show from Jolly Holiday Shows, if you buy one from us, then we could just even put it into your portal and then have it scheduled. It's also cool because they have a scheduler in there. That's the other challenge that I have with my old system, is I have to take the projector in and out every night, and I have to hit play every night. With this waterproof casing, and it has ways to lock it down. And so if you can get it secure enough, then you could leave this out and the project scheduler would kick it off at the designated time and just run your show without you having to do anything. So lots of things to test out. As soon as it's warm enough outside, I'll test out the LuxLink, which is you bring your own projector, and I'll test out the Omni as well, which is kind of the whole package, and the stitching using 2 projectors. I'll get some uploads on that and do a review. So this has been a fun weekend hanging out at Transworld, Halloween and Christmas Expo. It's been fun to see what new innovations are coming, and it's interesting that Luxedo is really the only game in town now with Lightform shutting their doors. They're solving this projection mapping problem for a lot of us, so it's been exciting.